Hey friends, it's Liz, your official craft nerd, and today I have some awesome Shabby Chic home decor pieces for you, so let's get right on into it. This first one is going to be a wall shelf unit, and I found these really cute house drawer items at the Dollar Tree. Now my store does have this section that has items that are a little bit more than $1, so those were both $5 each, and I could not pass them up. Now these little square drawers, these are actually from Michael's. I found these for 99 cents at Michael's and I love them. They are much better quality. They are all equal in size compared to the Dollar Tree ones, which are a lot thinner wood, and we all know that their stuff is not created equal. So what I'm doing is I'm taking these two, I'm going to glue them together. I use some super wood glue as well as some hot glue just to kind of get it held together right away. And what I want to do is place this underneath my one of my house shelves, I guess you can call them. So my plan is to have this one directly on top. I'm not worried about the back, like how it's not, you know, equal as far as the width goes, because it's going to be hanging on the wall. So you're really not even going to notice that. It's not a big deal. So I am going to take some of my hot glue and my wood glue again. I'm going to put a nice amount on the top of this, and then I'm going to line it up. And this, you know, it really secures really fast. I mean, that wood glue, I've had my ups and downs with it, but with this particular project, it worked fantastic. And adding that little bit of hot glue to it definitely helps secure the hold a lot quicker. So what I'm doing is taking that side of that, and then I'm going to take the top part of the roof, I guess, or the side. No, not the roof, the side. But you see how it's lined up really nicely with that angle, because I didn't want these side by side. I wanted it to look unique. I wanted it to look a little different, and I feel like this worked out really great. So just to let you know, this is a collaboration with my girl Lisa, with Living My Best Life with Lisa Marie. And if you haven't checked her channel out, you guys, I definitely recommend that you do so. She does a lot of really cool thrift flips as well as DIYs with Dollar Tree products. She's very into like farmhouse and cottagecore. She tries a lot of different things. So definitely take the time, check her channel out. Show her some love. Let her know that I sent you over. And if you're coming from Lisa's channel, welcome, guys. I'm so excited to have you here. And yeah, so let's get back into this now. Okay, guys. You guys have been telling me about using Vaseline. I could not find like the jar of Vaseline at Dollar Tree. So I thought, hey, you know, this like Vaseline chapstick stuff, maybe that'll work. You never know. You never know until you try it. And I did put it on there, and then I decided I was going to paint this unit in this really pretty blue. Now, you know I'm going to forget what this is called, so let me check what it is. Okay, so this is actually a paint by Folk Art, which is a part of Plaid, and it's from their home decor chalk line. This is Patina, and I really love this blue color. You know, I want to try to definitely put a little bit more, you know, vintage colors in my work, just because, you know, white is cool and I do a lot of that, or off-white or plaster, as you guys know. But I just really wanted to get a little bit more creative with this. So I am painting this whole thing in this blue color. So I'm not going to put you through the whole process of watching me paint every last bit of this, but I do paint the entire sides and the backs of this wall piece. Now for the front, I am going to do just the, you know, the small pieces in the front that you see, you know, on the front facing of this. And I do end up as well going through the top parts of the house, and I end up painting those blue too. But I will say that I think once I really kind of put it all together and was looking at it better, I didn't like it. I felt like it was almost too much blue. So I ended up going back in with plaster, and I made the insides of those houses. I guess that's what I'm going to call them, as houses, but I've ended up painting those with plaster. I do take the plaster as well and kind of dry brush the outside of the blue as well. So, you know, the whole thing with the Vaseline, you know, we were trying to get that distress look. You guys know I like to use the candle wax, and it seems to really be effective. I wanted to try the Vaseline because I've been hearing it quite often. Unfortunately, I don't think this one worked very well. It just, I don't know, maybe I need to get the actual Vaseline, but it left those, almost looks like, you know, you can see where it came off because I took a piece of sandpaper and kind of sanded it down. So you do see it, and I do like how it gives like that natural wood kind of peeking through like that. But yeah, I'm gonna try something new next time. I think I'm gonna try the tape. I've heard a lot about using tape to distress, so that'll be my next project. But yeah, so what I'm doing now is the drawers. I have this contact paper. I bought it off Amazon. I will put it down in my link. And you guys, I apologize. Like my look, I can't talk. My camera angle, this is not my norm. I had just got back from vacation. I kind of had to reset my workstation for a bit because I have to rig this thing up like with my window and the blinds and stuff. And I couldn't do it that night. So I apologize for it being kind of hard to see some of the things that I'm doing because I'm not used to having it from the side. But anyway, I am taking that contact paper, and like I said, I will list this down in the description box for you if you're interested. I love the vintage. I love the color to it. And basically, I just wanted to cover the faces of my drawers and even the little box, you know, drawers as well. So once those are on there, I did, and I don't have it shown here, but I did take my matte Mod Podge and I put it over the top because, again, I wanted this muted. There are little kind of shiny pieces, I guess, of gold in this paper. So again, I just wanted to kind of tone it down. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's definitely preference. But when it was all dry, and as you can see, my camera angle's fixed. So the next day I was able to get it taken care of. So what I did was I'm taking my X-Acto knife. I'm just trimming off those excess edges just to make it a lot smoother. Being that it is contact paper, it was a little bit different if I would just like decoupage, like, you know, just regular scrapbook paper or, you know, tissue or something on there. So it came off nice and easy. Now, mind you, my X-Acto knife is super, super sharp. I just got these from my dad, and I'm telling you, these were cutting through the wood, like literally slicing the wood. So, but anyway, thanks, Dad. I love it if you're watching. So I totally decided, like I said, to go ahead and paint the insides of the house white, and I love it so much better. I'm taking some sandpaper now. I'm just going to kind of de-stress, and I do that pretty much to the whole piece just because you guys know that's how I like it. I want it to look old and kind of roughed up and worn. So the next step is putting on little knobs for the drawers. Now I have these little tiny, super adorable, like little brass knobs I got from Amazon. So I knew I was going to use those on the small drawers. I had intended to reuse the knobs that were already on the drawers when I bought them from Dollar Tree, those little wood ones that you see down there at the bottom. However, yeah, I ended up breaking one. I don't remember exactly what I was messing around with it or what I was trying to do, but I did break it, so I had to come up with a different alternative for that. Now I'm just screwing some holes here into my little drawers just so I can easily put these tiny knobs in. What I love about them is they are, you know, they just screw on. You stick the screw through the back, and then you can easily screw the knob on the front. Simple, no glue, no any extra anything on those. Easy peasy. With the bigger drawers, because I screwed up the knob, I had to come up with an alternative. So what I'm doing is I'm taking some of my longer screws here, and I'm going to take these big large beads that I also get from Amazon. I usually get them in a bundle with different sizes for a really good price. So I'm pretty sure they're listed in my description, but I will put them down there if you're interested. What I'm doing is just filling up the one side of the hole with some of my wood filler, and it works perfect, and easily turns these little beads into the knobs that I want. And what you can't really see here, because I had to get it close to me so I could see what I was doing, is I'm taking the screw, I'm putting a little bit of hot glue on it, and then I am feeding it through the back of the hole that I drilled in there, and then I'm placing the bead on top of the screw. So there is hot glue in the hole of the bead, as well as a little bit that was on the screw itself, because it wasn't going to screw into it, you know what I mean? So I had to get it to make sure it stayed. So I used the hot glue, and it actually worked out great. So definitely a nice little trick that I figured out, that if I want to put handles on anything, that is an option that I can do. So I did go back over it with a little bit more wood filler. Definitely, didn't want it to look like an eyeball or something on those drawers. And as you can see, like, I placed in my little drawers. Actually, I was messing around with it, obviously, trying to figure out. I was like, no, please tell me I didn't screw up which one goes into which. And yeah, y'all, I don't even know. But it worked out fine. They do fit perfect. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of my plaster and color those beads, or paint those beads. Obviously, I could have did that before I glued them into the drawer, but you guys know by now, sometimes I really like to make things a little bit more, not so much difficult, but I like to give myself extra work, obviously. So, but I really, really loved how the beads looked as the knobs on here, and having them in that white color, it just really, really worked out perfect. I thought that the contact paper for the drawers definitely gave this piece that extra pop that it needed. And as you can see, I'm kind of taking more of that plaster and just going around these edges in the front, just again to make it pop, because again, I love this blue, I really, really do, but I definitely wanted more of a distressed look to it. So now I didn't really do so much on the back, just because nobody's going to see that, but I did take some of these picture hanging sawtooth hooks, and I'm just going to drill on top of both of the houses. I'm going to drill one of these hooks in, because this is how we're going to hang this up. So I just simply went ahead and got it as far up as I could without having it, I didn't want my screws to kind of pop through the front or anything. And it goes into those side pieces of the roof of these houses. So this is definitely going to hold up very well. It's going to hang really nicely. And you guys, I love, love, love this piece. So this is it with a little bit of decor on it. Again, you could do this any way, shape, or form that you like, any style, any color. I think it would go with whatever aesthetic that you may have, but I absolutely adored this one. Okay, so our next one I'm really excited about. I have been wanting to make a vintage shabby chic looking suitcase, okay? I have been searching for actual suitcases to do this with at every thrift store, Goodwill, and I've not been finding anything. So I actually had this box that I got from Michael's like a few years ago. It's been a while. But it's got that vintage, suitcase style. Now, of course, the maps and everything on it is actually, it's very pretty. I really do like it. But I just wanted to kind of freshen it up and, fit into all of the other, decor pieces that I've been doing so far. And I was really excited because I was like, man, this is going to be so simple. And you guys can do this with these types of boxes. Michael's, I know, still sells these types of boxes. I think Hobby Lobby does too. I don't know. I think I shop more at Michael's than I do Hobby Lobby. But these are just really cool boxes. They have them on sale all the time. So like, for a few bucks, you can definitely make a piece your own. So I'm taking, this is actually Rust-Oleum linen, and I'm doing a coat over the entire box, sides, bottom, back, everything. And I did do maybe 2 coats on some areas, just depending. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a stencil. Now this is a stencil that I found on Amazon. Again, this will be linked as well. And I just placing it on the front of my suitcase, and I'm taking some antique wax. You could definitely do this in black. You could do this in any color that you like, but for the purposes of this, I wanted it to be this brownish color, mainly because like the pieces that are, the hardware that's on this already, it's like a brown leather handle, and then of course like the bronze metal pieces. So I just felt like aesthetically it would look better keeping it with that same brown tone. So I'm just taking my stenciling brush and kind of just going up and down. I did get a little heavy on it, but it's okay. I'm not, again, I don't worry about that. I embrace the imperfections. It's definitely something that gets me through crafting, because if I would sit there and be so worried about if it's super perfect, I mean, I would have no fun with this, you guys. So I did not mind at all. So once it's completely done, I did, hit it with the heat gun a little bit just to help dry it up, just to be on the safe side that nothing, kind of bleeds through. But, it still does a little bit. It still kind of bleeds a little, but that's okay. I am not worried, because it still looks super cute. Like, I love that. I mean, I was really excited. I was like, okay, cool. This is going to be really pretty. I was already seeing my vision come to life, and I love it when that happens. So I decided to take the smaller part of that little floral piece. I'm going to put it in the other corner, and you can tell I'm just hitting it again with my heat gun just to be on the safe side. The antique wax doesn't dry as fast as, say, like your chalk paint or your acrylic paints, but it's okay. I give it a little help. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to do the up and down motion. My suggestion anytime you do stenciling is that you should start off lighter and then go heavier with it, because it's easier to fix, if it's too light than it is, too dark. So with this, I thought it came out super, super pretty. So the last part of the stencil that I'm going to use is the word Paris right in the middle. And that's where I wanted to place it on my suitcase, was just right dead center in between those really pretty little floral decals on the corners. And you guys, I just adored how these stencils turned out. It definitely added the touch that I was looking for. And again, I don't care about the imperfections. Like, you'll see how I finish this up here in a minute, but I'm definitely going to add some more distressing to this. Taking some more of that antique wax, and I'm going to go around all the corners, all the edges. And what's really great is because this is like a, cardboard, I guess, style box or whatever, it's already got all those little creases and worn, things on it. Because like I said, I've had it on a shelf probably for the past like 2 years, 3 years, something like that. So it's definitely been loved and used for some time. And I just felt like this just added to the whole look. I wanted the whole thing just a little bit grittier and dirtier. And I will go around all of the latches. I go around the handles. I go around all the edges, from the top to the bottom and the sides, everything. And even on the front of it, I'm going to do a little bit more, of the antique wax along the front, as you can see there. And then I finish it off with just taking my sanding block and going over the entire thing. There is something to me that just works every single time when I sand over anything that I've stenciled, especially on wood and products like this, because it definitely gives it that aged look and that vintage feel that I absolutely am in love with, obsessed with. So this was how this turned out. It was super easy, super affordable to do. And yeah, I'm really obsessed with this. I want to get some more boxes and do the same thing, like just some different designs. So I love my little suitcase. So for my last project, I'm going to do this little Shabby Chic planter. Now, this was almost a bonus project because honestly, guys, I felt like I only had the time to do the first two. But I said, no, I like to do things in threes. So call it what you will, but I had to do it. So I'm taking 3 of those wooden pencil holders that Dollar Tree had out for a while, and I was lucky enough to find some. And then these little signs here, I also found at Dollar Tree. These were in the home decor section. They were $1, and I really liked the ornate, whatever you call it, the filigree or whatever on the outside of these. And it had like a little wall hook and everything. Now, when I thought that this would be a quick, easy project to do, you guys know I'm gonna tell you when something is giving me a hard time or it just is not going my way. And you can't, again, I know, and I apologize that there's a lot that you're not seeing right now, but really what I'm doing is I am struggling to get the hardware off of the back of these signs. Like, no joke, the hook took forever to get off. These, they were all screwed in, but none of my screwdrivers, not even my drill, could get those unscrewed. So I was sitting there just trying to rip it apart. I took my, my little, what do you call these? The lineman pliers or whatever. Like, I love these things because they are so strong. I'm using that to try to, peel off these hooks. And I mean, y'all, it literally took me, it felt like forever to get these things off. And at one point I was like, why am I even doing this? I know you guys have probably been been down that road before where you're just like, what you thought was going to be easy just gave you more, struggle than it was worth. But once it was done, and it finally did get done, I was like, okay, I'm going to take this wood glue, and I'm going to glue these up, to the sides. I wanted the open areas all together, basically, because this is going to be our main part of our planter. And I do the same thing like I've been doing. I'm using the super wood glue and then some hot glue and just, keeping these all together, trying to make sure they're as even as they possibly can. But again, Dollar Tree stuff doesn't always line up just right, but this was not bad. Now, I decided with this, I was going to take this, I found this chalkboard paint at Dollar Tree. And quite honestly, it was the closest paint to me at the time, and I just didn't feel like going and searching for different colors and whatever. You know what? Sometimes the laziness is real. I'm just going to put it out there. It happens, y'all. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to go try to find my ink. I'm just going to use this. And you know what? This chalkboard paint went on so smooth and so easy. Like, I fell in love. And it's also by Plaid too. I found it at the Dollar Tree. It was crazy. Like, I got a couple to try out and I think I'm in love with it. Now, I didn't use it as a chalkboard, but it says, let it dry and then just condition it with some chalk and then it's supposed to work just fine. So I do think I'm going to try some other projects and see how it works like as actual chalkboard. But for this purpose, I'm like, nope, I just need it because it's black. So my thought process is I'm going to put these two together side by side. And I did, again, the wood glue and the hot glue because I wanted it to be secure. And, I don't mind just doing things real quick with hot glue, but really longevity purposes, hot glue doesn't always hold up. I mean, we all know that, but this wood glue, it's going to hold up. So I did push those two together and then I'm going to glue them on the front of this. Now, my original thought was I was going to make this like a wall hanging. We can hook this up on the wall too. And really you could. And I was going to reuse those hooks that came on the back of this. And I can use those, like maybe you can hang your keys underneath it or whatever. But I ended up scrapping that idea and, just using this as like, for a table decoration or whatnot. You can actually do whatever you want with it. I put flowers in it, but you could use it for, utensils or pencils and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm just rambling, you guys. So I decided to go ahead and just cover the whole thing in that black paint. If it's going to be where everybody can see, basically all the different sides, I wanted it to match up. and look nice. So again, I really like this paint. Like I kind of am trying to think of what other projects I can do and use this chalkboard paint, because I just really loved how it applied, and I kind of want to go back and get a bunch more, because yeah. Anyway, I'm taking some of this scrapbook paper, and you guys know how I love to distress this paper and rip it all up and, you know, decoupage it on things. So I felt like the middle, you know, needed something more. And, you know, I don't want to say that, I mean, I could have used the chalk, and I could have did, you know, the chalk paint, or not the chalk paint, the actual chalk, but to me it would have been more farmhousey. And that's really not where I was going with this. So I like these little images that I found in one of my little scrapbook paper sets. And again, these are things I've gotten off Amazon. And I just thought this would be super adorable to add in there. And I really like the contrast of like the old vintage type ripped up distressed picture against that stark black. Because I really feel that, you know, shabby chic doesn't necessarily have to be all pastels and pretty. Like, I feel like we can definitely add black, and I've said it before, farmhouse doesn't own black and white, y'all. We can do whatever we want. So I'm taking some of that. Actually, this is just the paper towel that I was dabbing off my antique brush, like my antique wax brush, and I'm using that excess on that paper towel, and I'm going over, you know, my pieces that I decoupaged on here, just to kind of dirty up those edges and make it a little bit more, you know, older and worn. And that was it. That's all she wrote for this. I stuck some flowers in there, stuck it on a table, and I was, yeah, I'm kind of obsessed. I think this is really, really cute. Definitely, you know, different, and something that I would keep in my home. So that is all I got for you guys today, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Again, to all my subscribers that come back every single week, I love you guys. Thank you for all of your sweet words and encouragement. And for anybody that's new, again, welcome. I hope you stick around. Definitely join the nerdy family here. We have a lot of fun with this type of style and getting creative, and I hope that, you know, if any of these things inspired you, that you just enjoy it and have fun and love it just as much as I do. And you guys, please don't forget, go and check out my buddy Lisa over at her channel. I will link that down below, as well as her video for this collaboration, and just tell her I said hey. And that's it, guys. Thanks again. I love y'all, and until next time, stay safe.